Today we're going to be covering how to do Pronto Plate lithographs. Pronto Plate lithographs are a type of polyester lithography that is done on paper instead of a lithograph stone, which is nice because I personally don't like mucking around with those. But the way it works is you got this plate here. It looks like a piece of paper. And what's happening with it is it's full of these tiny little holes. And these tiny little holes are kind of like the pores on your face or something. If they get gunked up with grease, they'll attract more grease. So when I draw on it with a Sharpie, it'll then attract more ink. If they're clean, they'll reject anything from gunking it up. And that's the way the water repels it. You can do quite a bit with this. You can use Sharpies, you can use pens, you can print them out from a printer. You can do a lot of different ways of making these. Here's some examples here. Look at that frog. First thing you want to do though is like grease, just like with your face. You have greasy hands. I know you do. So first thing you want to do anytime you touch the polyester plates is you need to sanitize your hands or wash them to get that extra grease off. All right, so what we got here is I have a little drawing drawn. And I got two markers. I got a Sharpie, normal Sharpie marker, and then I have a fine tip Sharpie. I'm using the fine tip Sharpie here to make 1/2-inch borders all the way around the outside. Now, why is that important? You want to give yourself a little bit of room whenever you're making this for the inking part later, especially your first one. You can do whatever later. Now I'm taping down the corners just to make it so it doesn't slip. And then one thing you can see here that's really dope, the Pronto plate is pretty transparent, right? So you can see pretty easily the drawing or the sketch underneath it. It makes it a lot easier to trace these sort of things, but you know, you don't have to limit it just to drawing. You can, I don't know, print out a picture of your friend Derek and draw him pretty easily that way. It depends on how you're able to translate. That doesn't matter. It's not really that important. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to keep things smooth. You'll notice whenever you first start drawing on these polyester plates, these Pronto plates, they're pretty slippery. And the slipperiness can cause you to kind of fill things in a little bit more than you want to, but that's why we start off small, right? If you mess up, you don't mess up that bad. So with this, you kind of just want to get comfortable. Try to touch the polyester plate as little as possible. So you see my left hand, the one with the turquoise ring, it's kind of holding the paper. So I keep as many fingers off of the polyester plate as I can. Because again, if it has a bunch of grease on it, it's going to attract it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just doing a very light, easy version of some cross-hatching and value. I'm not really too concerned with it. And now I've switched to a normal Sharpie. And you can see the difference pretty easily, but don't limit it to just this. You really can use a bunch of different materials. It doesn't have to only be this. Hopefully in future videos I'll explore some of the different ways that you can make Pronto Plate lithograph artwork. And yeah, you can fill in black, you can do value range, you can really do a bunch of different things. As you get done, you can pull it off the paper and kind of see how it looks, maybe fill it in a little bit more, feel good about your decisions. So here, let's get to printing. We're going to be making the fountain. The fountain is kind of the water we're going to be using. We're going to put in some gum Arabic, put maybe an ounce or two. I should probably measure that sort of thing, never really have. Give it a quick little stir, feel good about your decisions. This is lithographic ink. It's a specific oil-based stiff ink. Now I'm adding magnesium carbonate to it. That's going to help stiffen it up even more, so that way it'll stick better into the lines. And then this is cobalt dryer. That just helps it dry because I'm very impatient. I'm an impatient person. So you're going to give it a nice little mix, or me if you're doing this in my classroom. And yeah, really just like thoroughly combine it together. You don't really want too much extra powder. I keep some on the side just in case it needs to be stiffer, because it's a different type of ink we're doing here compared to some of the previous videos. This is It's kind of a caustic ink. If it gets on your skin, it's on your skin until that part of your skin dies. So that's why I'm wearing gloves as much as possible. I say this as I now have only one glove on, but whatever, you get it. All right, you're going to lay out ink until you get that distinctive sizzle sound you're used to hearing. And once that's rolled out, now we can start getting to the actual lithographic process. So first thing you want to do, we're doing this on a piece of plastic, so that way we can lay the plexiglass down, put some water, and then put some more water on top of it to smooth it out. So we have to be using pretty copious amounts of this fountain solution to reject the greasy ink on the roller from ruining your artwork. I'll show you what this looks like right now. Isn't it magic? It's beautiful. So what's happening? The water is filling in the white spots and rejecting in the reddish and black spots. So the grease is going to go right into it. The greasy printmaking ink. Now what I'm doing is I'm getting it up to the right color. And once we have it in our right color, we can feel good about our decisions. And then we know we can start printing it. The reason why we use red is so that way we can see the difference whenever we ink up with black. But we're also going to be using a numbered system. On the left there, you saw me charge my roller 6 times. So like I feel good about the amount of ink. Now we can start printing it. So I charge my roller 6 times, and then I roll it on the plate 6 times. You need to have these sort of repetitions and counting, so that way you can try to get the same thing every time. If you're having a little bit of issues, like I am right there, go ahead and just like fix it up. Like it wasn't filling in all the way or whatever. Printing, same registration system. We're actually using Stonehenge paper, which is a lot more fibrous, more expensive paper. Because this is going to have a lot of water on it, it needs to be a stronger paper to withstand that. Now, I hate changing my press straight up. So instead of changing the depth of my printing, we're just going to add a couple more boards. Running it through the press, running it back. Take all the boards off. So many boards, so much stuff. And give yourself a nice little peel. Look at that. Look at you. You did it. You made a drawing look like a drawing. Great job, Kyle. And that's kind of the magic of this, is it looks like a drawing. And it's very easy to repeat over and over again. Now, just like with any printmaking process, you want to print an edition. I've been able to get about 5 out of each one of these. Nope, and it looked pretty much the same. I think this edition was 4. I think as the more you do it, the more you'll get used to it, so you might get more editions out of it. First thing you want to do when you're done is take a look at all your prints. I have 4 good ones and 2 garbage ones. And you know what we do with garbage? It goes in the trash. You don't want to have artwork out there that doesn't represent you. Your friend Jennifer might be like, hey, I'll take that off your hands. And no, only have artwork that represents you out there. So if it's not exactly the way it's supposed to look like, then it doesn't exist. Throw it away. Now we're just going to go ahead and edition like we normally do. Title goes on the left. Edition number 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, 4 out of 4 goes in the middle. And then in the right goes your signature. Remember to do this in pencil because of old printmaking superstitions. And yeah, that's it. Pretty simple process. Pretty efficient way of making artwork. I think it's got some cool science techniques to it. So I'm a big fan. See you later.